Thank you, Ms. Sarita. Happy evening, everybody. And Ms. Shweta, good evening. At the outset, let me congratulate Ms. Shweta on completing the resource person training, and she is on board with lots of effective strategies. So thank you so much for offering this session. And well, definitely the English teachers who have joined here are going to take away quite a very few important and effective strategies which Ms. Shweta has prepared as communication, especially in the foundation stage, is on focus as per NEP objectives and aims. So these strategies will boost and enhance students' communication, especially speaking and listening. That is what she is going to discuss with you. Let us make it an interactive session. And if you have any questions and all, we can ask at the end. But at the same time, I request everybody to share their knowledge and expertise also with us so that we can make it very interesting and very, meaningful session. So thank you so much. Let us wish all the very best to Shweta ma'am. And let me, share a video to invite Ms. Shweta Jain. Please
Thank
bear
you,
with
sir.
us. Yeah, thank you. One minute. Here we go. Thank you.
Ms. Shweta Jain has accumulated over 8 years of experience in the field of education and currently serves as the class representative of Grade 1 at Akshar International School, Pune. Her academic qualifications include an MPhil and AB Ed degree. She has contributed a newspaper article to NIE and has hosted several orientation programs at the school level. Additionally, she has been instrumental in introducing innovative teaching learning materials to enhance classroom teaching methodologies. An avid reader, Ms. Jain has a passion for exploring different genres of books, reflecting her commitment to continuous learning and growth. Hearty welcome, Ms. Shweta. Please proceed. The stage is yours.
Yes, please proceed.
Yeah, thank you so much, sir, for this opportunity. I am hoping participants that it would be a very interactive session and we both in the process would learn. So with your due permission, can I start sharing my screen?
Yes, please.
Okay. Thank you so much. Teacher, can you tell me if my screen is being shared?
Yes,
Sorry.
it is. I think Ms. Sarita would be able to
Yes,
help
ma'am.
you.
Yes, ma'am. It's visible.
Thank you so much.
I'll guide you through, ma'am. I'll be there with you throughout. No worries.
Yeah. Yes. Thank you so much. So, dear educators, good evening. Developing speaking and listening skills in primary grade is an important and it's a very relevant topic because these foundational years shape students' communication, confidence, and social economic growth. So let's get started. But before we start, I have a small request. If we can do a warm-up exercise, a warm-up activity, which is a quick echo. So I'm going to say a word and you need to type in the chat box what comes to your mind instantly and no thinking aloud, dear educators. Are we all ready? All right. I can have a thumbs up if you all are ready. Okay. So my first word is good teachers. Can I have your responses in the chat box? Instantly, whatever comes to your mind. Are good learners, very good. Are very knowledgeable, thank you. Are very kind, Malini ma'am. Rehana, good friend, great, good going, thank you. Meenal ma'am, a tech savvy, okay. Dipali ma'am, are ideal. Thank you so much. That's a great start. My second word, good listeners, wonderful. Okay, our empathy, our friendly, wonderful. Thank you so much. Our having patience, wonderful. My second word would be good speakers. Good speakers, my dear educators. Good speakers are good leaders. Okay. Are confident. Okay. Nice. Are brave. Mawadi. Thank you. Are knowledgeable. They are second mothers. So true. Are good oratory skills. Wonderful. Should be a good listeners too. All right. Wonderful. So to listen well is a powerful, a means of communication as to talk well. Very well, this quote was said by John Marshall. And I hope you all have now been able to guess what we are about to talk about. What is this talk all about? It's about building strong communicators in primary grades. So by the end of this session, you will be able to understand why speaking and listening matters across all stages, explore simple, powerful classroom strategies, learn ways to access oral communication, and reflect on how to integrate the skills daily. But before we dive deep into the topic, please again be active on the chat box and write the reasons. What do you feel are responsible, challenges for declining in communication skills among our young students, among our young generation? Can I have it in the chat box? Yes, participants, I'm hoping you all to get good one. Give me good responses. Weak vocabulary. Thank you, ma'am. DC ma'am says poor confidence. Mova ma'am says being judged. Hesitation. Yes, Rihanna ma'am says navigate language preference over the language. Lavanya ma'am says fear. Wonderful responses. Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, shy and lack of vocabulary, low confidence, lack of language. Wonderful responses. Hesitation. Yes. They are well thought answers. Increase screen time. Very true. Very true. That brings us to our next slide, which is I have identified few of the challenges which are responsible for declining communication skills. So today's primary level faces unique obstacle to develop robust oral communication skills. As the picture itself says, the digital age, while offering tremendous opportunities, educational opportunities, has fundamentally altered how students interact and practice conversation. Increased screen time has dramatically reduced face-to-face interactions, limit conversational practice, and social clue recognition. Children spend more time engaging with devices than with peers, missing critical opportunities to develop language natural dialogue skills. Is it not? Do you all agree with me? I can have a thumbs up if you want to. You can just put your camera on and I can see that. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much. The second challenge or the second hindrance which I feel in today's in today's classroom is turn taking. It's a fundamental component of effective speaking and listening. It is one of the most common challenges teachers observe today. Many young learners find it so difficult to wait patiently for their turn, listen attentively to others, or understand when to respond in a conversation. One major reason behind this struggle is the influence of digital media. Children today grow up surrounded. I'm sorry. Are you all able to watch my screen? It has just gone, I guess.
It's fine, ma'am. It's fine.
The screen is visible?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I thought the screen. Okay, all right. I'm so sorry. I just thought it went away in my other device.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So many young listeners find it very difficult to wait patiently for their turn, listen attentively to others, or understand when to respond in a conversation. One major reason behind this is the struggle in the influence of digital media. Children today grow up surrounded by fast paced videos, interactive apps, and instant responses from technology. This constant, instant gratification environment conditions them to expect immediate engagement, leaving little room to develop patience and active listening skills essential for the real world communication, right? In group discussions or classroom conversation, such students may often speak, often not allow others to speak, and they might just keep on interrupting frequently or lose their patience when someone else is speaking. This not only affects the flow of communication but also limits their ability to process others' idea, show empathy, and build collaborative relationships. Yes, we all agree to it, don't we? That it's becoming a struggle nowadays. They are so impatient students nowadays. My next challenge, which I was able to identify, was expression talent. Articulating thoughts clearly and organizing ideas verbally requires explicit teaching and regular practice. Without structured opportunities, many children struggle to express complex ideas or emotions effectively. In the early years, children tend to speak in fragmented phases or rely on gestures rather than completely verbal explanation. As they progress through the primary grades, the cognitive load increases. They are expected to describe experiences, narrate events, show opinions, and engage in problem solving conversations. Without explicit teaching and regular practice, many struggle to structure their ideas coherently or to express complex emotions such as frustration, excitement, or empathy. Okay, let's move forward. So, again, I would like to know your thoughts as to why should we focusing on speaking and listening skills in the primary education? Can I have the chat box responses again? The educators, I would like it to be a very engaging one. Can we have answers in the chat box as to why focus on speaking and listening skill in the primary education? Communication is very important. Yes, Lucy ma'am has said that. To learn new concepts, wonderful. They are the primary skills, wonderful. To build confidence, yes. Better social relationship, to express their ideas, help children in focus of listening. So true, very true, that is. Let's move forward. Thank you so much. Engage the class. Very nice, thank you. Okay, let's move forward. Ma'am, the screen.
Shweta ma'am, there seems to be something wrong with your screen. We are unable to see it.
Yes, ma'am. I'll again stop share because I don't know somewhere on my screen you are coming. Okay. Is it now again visible, right? No, it's gone.
No, ma'am.
But why is this happening? Because my network and everything is good. Okay. All right. Now I think we have got it.
Yes, now we can see. Yes.
Okay. All right. So I have identified few reasons giving you the data. Strong speaking and listening abilities don't just support academic success. They unlock social confidence, collaborative problem solving, and effective communication that serve the learners throughout their lives in primary grades. We are not only simply teaching children to take turns and raise their hand, we are equipping them with tools for meaningful communication and expression. We had a research by James in the year 1984, which revealed that listening comprehension significantly outpaces reading ability in early years, making oral communication the critical foundation upon which all literacy development is built. The CBSE framework explicitly emphasizes oral communications as the cornerstone for literacy and holistic learning. However, current data reveals significant challenges. According to NCERT 2024 assessment, approximately 65% of the students in India's primary classroom struggle with oral expressions, highlighting an urgent need for targeted intervention and innovative teaching strategies. India's National Curriculum Framework and National Education Policy, that is NEP 2023, explicitly emphasizes about 85% of these oral communication skills alongside traditional reading and writing competencies. Despite policy frameworks, only 40% of the many Indian classrooms continue to prioritize written literacy, inadvertently leaving speaking and listening skills undeveloped. This creates a significant gap in children's communicative competency, and oral language demonstrates that many Indian primary students receive limited English listening exposure outside the classroom. The restricted input directly impacts their fluency development, pronunciation, accuracy, and overall confidence. So, speaking and listening skills, they found the bedrock of literacy, social development, and academic success. When children can express themselves clearly and listen attentively, they build a stronger relationship with peers and teachers. They develop critical thinking and reasoning abilities. They gain confidence, as many of you have just written in the chat box, to participate actively in the listening. It improves reading comprehension and writing skills, and it definitely prepares for future academic and successes. Now, please, again, let's be active on the chat box and tell me, what do you think would be the classroom challenges and opportunities in developing? What do you think could be the classroom challenges and opportunities? Can I have your answers in the chat box also? Yes? Answers in the chat box. Am I audible, ma'am? And I hope people are there and responding.
Yes, ma'am, you are audible. You are audible. You're very much audible.
Yeah. Okay, all right. So the fear-free approach by teachers. Thank you, Lucy, ma'am. Shyness, very good. Fear of being judged. Language, very true, very true. Lack of confidence, that is definitely there. I agree to all of this. Thank you so much, dear educators. Some of the challenges that I have identified and would like to talk about is the first one I could find was limited English exposure. It is a barrier to global competence. Let's talk to this as challenge first, and maybe then we can talk about the opportunity. So despite India having the largest English speaking population, globally about 10% of students in rural schools have regular English instruction. National Achievement Survey of 2021 shows average English proficiency dropped from 59% in grade 3 to 36% by grade 10. You all agree to this, right? Yes? Okay. Yeah. This limited exposure restricts access to higher education and global job markets. But the opportunity part, government initiatives like the NEP 2020, which aims to improve English teaching through digital tools and teacher training projects using English language apps, increased student test score by 20% in 1 year. Teachers report improved student participation when English is taught interactively rather than rote memorization. But the challenge still remains in rural areas with the lack of English trained teachers there. Second challenge which I was able to identify and will talk about is a large class size. Average student ratio in a government school is 24:1 nationally. But in many rural areas, it has exceeded to 40:1. Overcrowded classrooms hinder individual attention. and increased teachers' workload. Communication often becomes only teachers. There is no two-way communication. It is rather teacher directed than the student centered. The emphasis shifts from dialogue to delivery. Do you all agree to it again? Yes? Okay. Yes, thank you. Where the teacher is constantly talking, in the dialect delivery, the teacher is constantly talking and the student is only passively listening to it. This limits children's chances to engage in interactive exchanges, peer discussions, or individual speaking practices, all of which are essential. They are the key components for developing confidence, articulation, and active listening. Students link large classes to lower engagement and higher stress. Yes. But the opportunity that we got during the COVID, when the use of AV technology and the hybrid teaching methods has helped to manage a large classroom. Interactive digital boards and group learning has reduced teacher strain. Many of the NGOs in rural areas are actually training teachers and communities to assist teachers in the classroom. My next strength and challenge will be multilingual strength. I'm sure you all will agree that India's classroom are among the most linguistic, diverse classrooms in the world. Yes, I'm sure you all agree to it. India has 22 officially recognized languages and hundreds of dialects spoken by students. Many children grow up in richly multilingual environment, often acquiring 2 or 3 dialogues even before they come to school, even before they enter the school. Multilingual classroom foster cognitive flexibility and cultural awareness. NEP 2020 promotes mother tongue instruction in early grades to improve comprehension and learning outcomes. While this diversity is sometimes viewed as a challenge for teachers, especially for the teachers who teach English, but this medium of instruction differs from child home language. It is in fact a tremendous cognitive and cultural assets. Research has shown consistently that multilingual learners develop stronger ability to think, to analyze, and they have better problem solving capabilities. So whatever challenge we have learned, we have tried to get that as a strength also. Yes? Okay. One more very important thing is the classroom support and the educational, the policies during our education, during the educational transformation. So India's classroom reflect a complex mix of challenges, language barriers, overcrowding, and diversity. Yet government reforms, technology, and inclusive practices are offered hope to the teachers. The NEP 2020 is a landmark reform focusing on equity, digital learning, and teacher empowerment. Over 1.5 million schools benefit from midday meal school scheme, improving attendance and nutrition. Digital India initiative have connected over 250,000 schools with internet access by 2025. Increased funding in the education budget has rose from 15% to 24 in 24-25, targeting infrastructure and teacher training programs, which focus on inclusive education and technology use, which is bridging the urban and the rural gap. Digital classrooms expanding beyond metros to remote villages, where students are using tablets. Teachers training program, which I've already discussed, focus mainly on inclusive education and the use of technology. Yes? Okay, let's move forward. I have a small case study to present in front of you. This is Sujata, a grade 3 student from a very small village, my native place. in India who entered, grade 3, coming from a Hindi speaking household within a limited English exposure. She literally felt paralyzed by fear of making mistakes. I'm sure you all can relate to this case study because we all get students in our classes from maybe a non well speaking English speaking background. And the way the child literally is paralyzed by the fear of making mistakes. Sujata was no less. She would silently sit in the back, avoiding eye contact with her teacher. So her teacher began pairing Sujata with a supportive classmate for simple speaking tasks. In this safe, low pressure environment, Sujata started with a single word response. I'm sure many of us have these kind of students in our class who will only respond in yes, no. If they want to go to the toilet, will only say toilet and not the complete sentence also. Sujata was no less. She also started with single word responses. Gradually, she started building up short phases. The one-on-one setting removed the fear of public embarrassment. Through public picture-based storytelling activities, Sujata discovered her voice. She loved describing characters and imagining and explaining her adventure with them. Her teacher's positive reinforcement and genuine interest in her stories fueled her growing confidence. Today, Sujata leads a group discussion with enthusiasm, volunteers to read aloud, and helps other shy students find their confidence. Her transformation exemplifies the profound impact of learner centered interactive teaching approaches that prioritize psychological safety along with. Okay, now we all have heard Sujata's transformation. Yes, and I'm sure we need to see more such transformation in our classes. Is it not? Yes. And I'm sure you all can relate to such kind of, students in your own classes also. Okay. So I have developed some key strategies to develop, for listening and speaking skills. From the transformation, I'm sure we all need this transformation in our class. So here are some of them. These key strategies will help passive learners into confident communicators, which can be adopted for educational context. The first one of which is learner-centered approach. This implements participatory methods like pair work, group discussions, and role play that give every child a voice and active participation opportunities. The second one is language games, which incorporates engaging games to boost confidence and fluency, such as storytelling, circles prediction, activities, and creative drama exercises. The third is model active listening, which demonstrates active listening behavior by maintaining eye contact, nodding and asking thoughtful follow up questions, and showing genuine interest. And lastly, diverse audio resources. In here, the use of audio materials in real life conversations are suggested to explore students to varied English accent, helping them to become flexible and confident learners. Yes, we all agree to it, right? Your thumbs up boosts me, educators. Okay, let's move forward. Now, please tell me, what do you think should be taught first, whether it is listening or whether it is speaking? Can you write in the chat box, please? What do you think should be taught first, whether it should be listening or it should be talking? Sarita ma'am has said listening. Thank you so much, ma'am. Okay, Lucy ma'am has said listening. Yeah, ma'am, everyone is saying listening. Very good. Very good. Richa ma'am is saying listening. Okay, Meena ma'am is also saying listening, which is so true. Which is so true. This comes with our very experience, you know. The power of listening is the first step of speaking. Thank you so much. Yes, Sangeeta ma'am is also saying, Vimla ma'am, Hima ma'am, and Poonam ma'am. Thank you. Thank you so much. The power, the power of listening is the first step to speaking. I'm sure many of us are mothers. Many of us have, you know, had babies in our house. And when a child is born, we speak to the child, irrespective of we knowing whether the child is able to understand or not. We keep on talking to the child, keep on talking to the child, and later the same child picks up those words and communicates back to us. Yes, he has learned by listening. So listening is very important because it is a building foundational skill. Listening skills are the gateway to developing accurate pronunciation, expanding vocabulary, and achieving natural fluency in any language. It helps. Instance, active listening is defined. True active listening involves giving full attention, demonstrating empathy, and providing meaningful, essential component feedbacks. And we know our in classroom reality, as we have already discussed this, that students in India often navigate multilingual environment with limited English input, creating unique challenges for developing strong listening competencies. So this makes it all the more important that listening is focused on. Okay. Again, I would expect you all to engage yourself in the chat box. Here's one question for you all. What do you think can be engaging listening activities which can be included in the class? Can I have some responses in the chat box? What can be engaging listening activities? Storytelling. Thank you, Ashwini ma'am. Yes, short passages with simple vocabulary. Swati ma'am has posted that. Thank you, ma'am. Developing story one by one. Radhika ma'am. Dipali ma'am says stories. Thank you so much, Dipali ma'am. Rihanna ma'am says playing skit, role play, small quizzes, role plays. Yes, storytelling. Simple word change. Thank you so much, ma'am. Okay. Okay. Thank you so much. So many of you have very good, source. It's a well thought answers and insightful responses which have gone. Stories, role play with some actions. Wonderful, wonderful. Here are some activities which I have thought about. So one could be individual engaging listening activities to build comprehension is crucial for building comprehension. And the first one which I could think of was one effective approach is by using age appropriate educational podcast and audio stories. This is one of the very, very effective way. Choose episodes that align with CBSE themes and curriculum and match your students' attention span and comprehension level. Always before listening, activate the prior knowledge. I'm sure we all do that in our lesson plan. Before we start with our period, we always activate the prior knowledge through discussion. So during the podcast, encourage the child taking note taking or drawing to aid comprehension. And at the end, after listening, felicitate discussion to check understanding. Dear educators, I will share the link of such sample broadcast to you towards the end of my today's training. I will definitely share some link with you which could help you to download and use that in your class. My second activity could be listening for details. In a purposeful listening activity, it is listening for details. It's very purposeful. It is designed to train students to focus attentively on key pieces of information within spoken text. It moves children beyond passive hearing to active comprehension, where listening with an intent to understand, recall, and interpret specific details. In this activity, we can use short audio clips, such as short stories, descriptive passage, daily instructions, and dialogues. And we can ask them specific detail, which is oriented question immediately after listening, which could include question like what was the color, how many friends, if there were characters, how many friends, if there is an animal, what was the cat hiding, right? We can use and within within 2 or 3 literal questions itself, which will build the confidence and the concentration of our students. Gradually, as the students become more active listeners, the level of challenge may be increased by introducing imperial questions which require them to build beyond the text, such as interpreting emotions, predicting outcomes, and identify reasons. I'm sure many of us are doing this. We have our ebooks which we are using it, and that definitely helps here. My next one would be sound discrimination. I'm sure many of us are doing this by the true of nature walk or doing it in the class. This is a game which helps to develop auditory skills essential for reading and language processing. Activities like environmental sound recognition, initial sound identification, and rhyming words detection engage students and build chronological awareness. Yes, we all are practicing such things, even when we take them for a nature walk, listening to the chirp of the bird, listening to chirping, or when they are in the football ground, near the football ground, how is the kick being heard? The small, small sound discrimination games really helps them. So let us also play a game here. Okay, herein I would want you to unmute yourself and respond as and when the question is asked. So we have discussed individual activity. Let us do one activity to know how conversation can be included in a group, because I do believe that we all have a good strength of students in the class.
Shweta ma'am,
Yes.
just a minute. See, we have unmuted all the participants. If you would like them to speak, they'll have to raise their hands so
Yes.
that we can unmute them and they can go ahead with their speaking.
Sure,
Participants,
ma'am.
please note this. Please raise your hand so that we can unmute you.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm sure many of us are doing this in our class, and it's just a fun activity. Okay. So suppose I am holding this ball, which is on your screen right now, and I'm speaking my thoughts like this is a ball and it is big and it is a basketball. Yes. Now I would like, or I would request any one of you to raise your virtual hand so that we can unmute you and speak a line regarding the ball. Just take the conversation forward. Can we have some participants? Miss Indumati has raised the hand, ma'am. Can you unmute her?
Indumati ma'am, you may unmute yourself.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, please go ahead. Ma'am, you're audible.
Yes, ma'am.
Shweta ma'am, please repeat your question. Participants would like you to repeat your question.
Okay. So I have just spoken about the ball, that this is a ball, it's a basketball, and I use it for playing, basketball. I just want you to speak one line to take the conversation forward.
Indumati ma'am, would you go ahead? Or may I ask Swati ma'am?
Yes, ma'am. This is my basketball. I bought it yesterday.
Thank you. Anyone else could take it forward? One more line.
Swati ma'am, you may unmute and you may speak.
Am I audible, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
Good evening, ma'am. So I would like to take forward the conversation by the sentence. My ball is of orange color. It has black strips on it.
Very well done, ma'am. Anyone else would like to?
Shaharban, please go ahead. Shaharban.
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, please
Evening,
go ahead.
ma'am. Yes, it's orange color one, and the shape is a sphere. The shape is sphere.
Tarini ma'am, you may unmute yourself. Tarini ma'am.
Good evening, everyone. I love basketball. My father bought a basketball yesterday as a birthday gift.
Great. We could take one last participant.
Yes, ma'am. Vimala ma'am, please unmute yourself.
Yes, ma'am. Good evening, ma'am. This is a basketball. It is speary in shape. I bounce with this ball every day. I play every evening in the basketball ground.
Great, Vimla ma'am. Thank you so much, all the participants. That was really good participation you could find there. Okay, thank you so much, ma'am. So this was small, but if you could notice, there was a noticeable change. When I was speaking, I was giving confidence and authority while sharing my thoughts. And by doing this, you all were able to value the contribution. That is respectful listening. When the second speaker spoke, when Swati ma'am spoke, you know, we could we could understand, we all could, again listen attentively. Hence, every voice was heard. By the time last, when Vimla ma'am also spoke, so every voice was heard, every voice was given an opportunity to speak. So this activity in group becomes very important. We are maintaining an eye contact, keeping quiet, showing interest through body language. When here few of you just clicked your video on, but this is important when we are doing it practically in our class. There is an eye contact. The others are keeping quiet. They are showing interest to their body language, and every voice is heard and valued. The way the object moves around in circles, ensuring everyone receives an opportunity to contribute to the conversation. While doing this, students develop collaborative thinking skills. This is the talking object strategy, which transforms small group discussions and providing a tangible, visible cue for turn taking. This is yet but a powerful tool. Thank you, everyone. I'm sure you all agree to it. And I'm sure you all are doing this also in the classroom. Let's move to the next one. Okay, again, please write in the chat box at least one way you could engage children to effectively speak in the class. One way to effectively that children could be engaged or speak in the class. Any one activity. Yes. Dramatize the situation. Thank you so much, sir. Extempore, word building. Thank you. Pick and speak. That is a good one. Show and tell. Wonderful. Simon says role play. Great going educators. Thank you so much. Swati ma'am says show and tell. Dipali ma'am says picture description. Thank you. I have also listed down some of the activities which I'm sure you will feel interest in listening to it. So the first effective activities for planning, for primary grades is, thank you. Imagine a character. That was a good one. Pradeep sir has given. Is taking turn prompts. Effective speaking activities are crucial for developing primary students' communication skills. Just as we did a few minutes ago, turn taking. We were giving prompts and the other one was taking it forward, which is just simple yet a very engaging way to build confidence and conversational activities. Students practice speaking and listening in pairs, and they take turn in answering questions also about their interests and experiences. The next one here would be story retelling, what many of you have also written here. It is one of the most engaging and effective way to develop children's speaking activity while reinforcing comprehension, speaking, and creativity. It allows to process what they have heard, internalize, and then reproduce in their own ways. I'm sure, again, many of you are doing this in your classes. Story retelling is something very, very effective. Once you narrate a chapter to them, let the child speak back to you as to what they have understood. And many a times it just helps you to form a script for your annual fest also. Okay. Next is the role play. This is, I'm sure many of you are doing it again, and this creates authentic context for vocabulary development and confidence building. Students stimulate real life situations like buying fruits, visiting a doctor, or introducing themselves as per their age. These activities can really be adopted for different classes and integrated into daily schedule. These activities can also require minimal perception, yet they yield a significant learning outcome with our primary students. Moving forward, I have designed a 35-minute step-by-step framework for creating engaging yet effective oral communication lessons that would work in Indian diverse classrooms. Educators, you can take a screenshot of the same also. This is really helpful. So the first 5 minutes, we can do a warm-up. Begin with simple greetings like happy morning, hello sunshine stars. And you could also show and tell. If you could start with an activity, you can just show and tell an activity or a question. Circle. Second, 10, the next, activity, the next thing would be to listen. That could be done for 10 minutes. You could play a short story, audio clip, or read aloud loud with comprehension questions that require active listening. The third one could be a speaking task of 15 minutes where you can pair students to discuss a question, role play a scenario, or describe images. Circulate, encourage, and gently correct. And lastly, could be a wrap up. What did we learn today? How did you feel? What was challenging? It is very important to keep our lessons flexible. If students are deeply engaged in discussions, extend it, extend the time. It's okay. We do not have to complete it in the 5 minutes, 15 minutes, the 35 minutes only. We can extend the time because this will only build confidence if we are reinforcing it again and again. Yes, was this helpful, dear educators? This is just a 35 minutes. You can add more if you have, but I'm sure this is very, very effective. Then measuring progress and providing feedback. Feedback is very important. Whatever you do, feedback is very important. Effective assessment of speaking and listening skills require observation, documentation, and constructive feedback that nurtures growth rather than form anxiety. Formative assessment would be in the form of using an anecdotal record during activities. For observation, there could be a checklist, which could be a note-taking, listening behavior, whether the child is making an eye contact, giving appropriate responses or not. Then peer feedback system. This is to encourage constructive peer feedback in group activities, which HPC coming in so strongly. Peer feedback is one of the most important criteria there as well, which you can actually include here. You could encourage constructive peer feedback in group activities. And the last one is to link the feedback. A Nippon alignment is there where you could link the feedback to learning outcomes aligned with Nippon foundational literacy guidance for consistency and accountability. Remember, focus on the growth, not perfection. Okay. I hope this was helpful to you all as well. There has been, a research from the Educational Endowment Foundation demonstrates that targeted oral language intervention yield an average 6 months additional progress for learners who need extra support. The substantial impact underscores the importance of differential instructed in speaking and listening development, and it's very important that we access individual needs. We need to match the activities to each individual's developmental stage. Not everyone is on the same page. So individual needs is very important. Frequent sessions with the same thing is also very important, where we provide substantial practice and opportunities throughout the week. One-to-one support. It offers individualized instruction where possible for maximum impact. And it trains the support staff. Then adult modeling, again, this is the most important one, because whatever you are, presenting to the young learners, they are taking it up. Let's move forward. I would like to know what strategies do you think, dear educators, can be adopted for English learners and reluctant speakers? I'm sure you all face this, right? Child who do not want to speak at all. Yes? Any one or two strategies? In the chat box, if you can. For reluctant learners, child who does not want to speak, you've been trying hard, but the child does not want to speak. I will share a few ideas with you. Okay. Okay, claps. Wonderful, wonderful. Give opportunities. Okay, nice. Thank you so much. So some of them which I have been able to identify is the use of visual vocabularies. Use picture cards, real objects. Thank you so much. Pairing them. Wonderful. Assess individual needs, music and art. Thank you so much. Few of them which I have also brought into my presentation is visual vocabulary support. So this is the use of picture cards, real objects, gestures to support. And these help, the images, they help children to access vocabulary. They are still acquiring, building confidence to participate in the discussion. The second activity, which is very simple, is sentence framing and STEM. The sentence frames and stems, which provides us capital, like my favorite part. You could just speak, my favorite part was what? Because of this, something happened, or, to support the language structure while children develop oral fluency and confidence. The third one is low stake practices. Begin with partner talk before the whole group starts sharing. It's difficult. Allow children to rehearse their thoughts to the larger audience before producing, and this helps in reducing their anxiety and improving improving their quality and confidence. Then you could, there are some practical tips that I have for the educators. It could be an exemplary role models. As we have already discussed, whatever you enact, the way you talk, the way you present yourself, your students behave the same way. They demonstrate the same way. Whatever new vocabulary you give them, they initiate and they try to make sentences with that. Integrate across the curriculum. Speaking and listening are not just confined to literacy lessons. Build a discussion into the mathematics class, problem solving, science investigation, and creative arts. Ask children to explain their thinking, describe their observations. Display sentences and conversational frameworks prominently around the room. Stems like I respectfully, agree in building on what you have said. This will provide linguistic keyholes to the child. Reflect and celebrate. It is very important that we engage, the conversation. We reflect and we celebrate whatever our child has done. If it makes them feel good, let us make them feel good because they are so small. They are just in primary right now. Create a communication-rich environment. Provide them with specific feedback that reinforces positive behavior. Create a communication-rich environment. Display anchor charts. Display child's photograph. Display the star of the day. Display, reward charts in your class. Yes. The educators, we hold a very remarkable power to transform classroom communication culture through intentional research. And these activities which we have just explored today aren't merely teaching techniques. They are investments in your students' future. As role models, your commitment definitely matters. And you are also into the continue of your learning processes. Some of the supports which I promised I will be sharing with you all. First one, which I was able to find, and this is a fabulous resource, is TESS India Urge. Choose one of the resources this week and explore. Start with small, perhaps you could just download one or two toolkits because there are nearly 200 free educational resources designed to improve the professional development of teachers in India. And these materials were developed to help the educators in elementary and secondary schools which adopt children-centered participation. I would like to share the link, and I will once my presentation is over of this particular slide. Then there is another one, which is Teaching English Radio India. I'm sure many of you are listening to it. It is a project from the British Council, which offers a series of audio programs and workbooks, designed to help the teachers. You can just download. It is an interactive tools also. We have interactive tools and creative lesson plans to be used for speaking and listening skills. Our very own Nipun Bharat, many government initiatives providing comprehensive framework, training modules, and assessment. This is a wonderful resource material provided by our very own government. It reinforces the mission framework, outlines several aspects of oral language development for children aged between 3 to 9. And lastly, join professional learning communities, district teachers group, and online forums for sharing best practices, troubleshooting challenges, and celebrating success with fellow educators. And what best example, dear educators, you are here at Extra Mile Training, where we have connected to learn and explore. So start small, choose small, and experiment boldly. Don't fear mistakes. They are learning opportunities. Share your success. Inspire colleagues. The best way to work is to inspire colleagues. And let's commit to making our classroom vibrant spaces for active communication. Children learn to speak by being heard and listen by being valued. Encourage teachers to be model good listening and to celebrate every voice in their class. With this, I would like to conclude the session. Thank you so very much, dear educators. I hope this was informative to you and I was able to, add some more knowledge to you all. Thank you so much. If there is any questions, I'll be happy to address them. And in the meantime, I will just share the links in the chat box. Thank you. Any questions? Anyone can just ask me.
Dear participants, please raise your hands. We can unmute you so that you may ask Shweta ma'am any queries that you have.
Any more strategies also you would like to hear? If anybody can share the strategies they are practicing in their classrooms, please share with us so that it will be beneficial to others. Please raise your hands and we'll be unmuting you.
I'm just sharing the resource material of TRESS. Dear participants, I've just shared the link where you can download the material.
Raju, you can unmute.
Hello. Am I audible, ma'am?
Yes.
Namaste, ma'am. Namaste, sir. Actually, I have a doubt. One of the student in my school, actually, I'm teaching for 3rd and 4th grade, but he's studying in 2nd standard. And he had a birthday. I called him nearby me and I started asking question, but he didn't open his mouth. Just now you talked about the reluctant speaker, right? I actually don't understand how to make him speak. I tried my level best, but he didn't open his mouth. So what we must do if such students are there in our school or in a class?
Ma'am, we always get such students in our classes, who are shy, who are reluctant. They just wouldn't open their mouths, to speak with us. So as per me, like you could go down to the level of the child, trying to understand why the child is very reluctant to speak with us. Maybe there has been something at home, maybe in the previous school, or maybe in grade 1, as you said, the child is now in grade 2. There has been that the child has been stopped in every word that he is saying. If the child is saying one word answer, do you want to go to the washroom? Yes. Do you like my class? Yes. So let us encourage the child in talking more and more, more sentence-based sentences and definitely giving more time to it. I always feel that there is this reward chat. I have newly started in my class. I have started this star of the day. So I make a flip chart where I turn my pages and every day the child's name is written on it. And this is displayed. So every child wants their name on that flip chart that I had. And I have mentioned it as star of the day because this helps in reading. The child now wants to, talk and listen and read. The child wants to be more
Yes.
participants in the class. This strategy definitely works. And very
But
small
ma'am,
sentences, ma'am, you could start
I
with it.
agree. I agree with whatever you're saying. Means if a child is at least nodding his head, we can take a step forward.
Yes.
Like we can take another strategies. We can use different kinds of strategies. But
Yes.
this child was not ready to nod his head also. He was not ready to blink his eyes also. I don't know what was the issue. But I will try the strategies whichever you have told today.
Sure.
And I'll let you know in future if I'll be in connecting with you. I'll let you know what are the results.
Sure, ma'am. Thank you so much.
And
I'll be
also,
happy to get the
madam,
feedback.
please find out the reason, as madam has said, you have to find out the reason. So you have to
Yeah.
have the history of the child and also take the help of the special education department in your school. You can jointly, work on this particular child. Right.
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you. Valli, ma'am.
Thank you so
Valli.
much.
Miss Valli, you have to unmute. Miss Valli is there or gone? Okay.
So she's there. Valli ma'am, can you unmute yourself? Shweta ma'am, in the meanwhile, there was a response in the chat box that the links are not working.
The links are not working.
The link which you shared for the resources, that those
Yes.
seem not to be working. There was a response like that on the chat box.
I would request everyone to try because this is the link which is I tried and tested once.
The first link that you shared, ma'am.
In case they don't work, please try with Google if it is, because this definitely is the one that I have been using and working on.
Because I tried it at my end. It's showing the doc. It doesn't exist. We are not able to go ahead. I tried it at my end, ma'am.
Oh, is
British
it?
Council link is
I'll try
working.
again. Sorry, sir.
British Council link is working.
British Council link is working. The previous one is not.
Okay, I'll try and share it again. Let me just work on it once more. I'll just try it. Yeah, in the
Meanwhile,
meantime, we could take anyone else.
Yes, we can take any more questions or any sharing. Otherwise, you can note that the certificate link is posted in the chat box. Do as directed.
I think there's a gap in between my.
The first link needs access denied. So you can please check.
Okay, sure, I will try and do that.
Okay.
Educators, please get in touch with me. I'll try to get that working out again. And maybe I'll share it with you on one-to-one if you mail it to me.
You can send me the correct link. We can mail it to the
I'll do that, sir. I will do that. I will do that.
All right.
Yes, I'll do that.
All right. Thank you so much. Sarita ma'am, you can wind up.
Yes, sir. So it was a wonderful, wonderful session, Shweta ma'am. The strategies that you suggested, the ways that you went about discussing and describing the steps that teachers could take for developing the listening and the speaking skills, they were very, very well researched and well presented. I'm sure our educators have a lot of takeaways today after today's session. Thank you very much, ma'am. And it was a wonderful, I believe this was your first session with us as a resource person. Congratulations. It's a beautiful beginning for you. Looking forward to many more from you.
Yes.
So dear participants, thank you so much for your active participation. You all were very, very supportive of the resource person because it means a lot to the resource person when we have participants who support them actively. Thank you so much. Salam sir, if you could please wind up the session.
Yeah, thank you, Shweta ma'am. Very successfully presented. As expected, all the points you have discussed, and you could engage the audience throughout your session. Hopefully, the audience, the participants would take it forward and implementing in the classroom. In fact, there are more and more strategies which we can explore, but due to time in constraint, we could, limit to these strategies only. But let us, shift from the rote learning to the child-centered approach. That is the only strategy which can save, us from, all the hassles and, all the obstacles in communication. So thank you so much once again to Shweta ma'am. I really appreciate Shweta ma'am's, initiative in coming forward, and the confidence level also is appreciated, and equally thankful to Sarita ma'am on acting behalf of Biju S. Pillai, who could not join us. And appreciation to all the participants who have joined. There were more than 200 participants joined for your session. That's a wonderful, turnout. And we hope to see you all again. Today was an English day, as it was an English session. So we are coming up with lots of other topics as well. So keep learning with Extra Mile Education and Training. Have a very good night. Thank you so much. Thank you,
Thank
Shweta
you
ma'am.
so
and
much, sir.
Sarita ma'am.
Thank you so much, sir, for this opportunity. This was my beginning, and with anxiety, I had a lot of fear and excitement as well. I'm happy that I could wind up in the time limit which was given to me. So thank you so much, Sarita ma'am, for all your support as well. And once again, thank you so much, sir, and thank you, participants.
Yes, and convey our regards to Mrudula ma'am, Mrudula Mahajan, your principal.
Definitely.
Thank
She is the energy booster and the person behind us. Leap
Correct,
one more
correct.
step ahead.
Correct.
Yes.
So many have come forward from your school.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, good night. Thank you.
Good night, sir. Good night, everyone. Thank you, everyone.